If you haven't heard already, Dublin is still refusing to accept an EU bailout package to deal with its huge deficit. But Brussels is worried that the situation in Ireland could have a domino effect, bringing down other vulnerable countries and even threaten the future of the Eurozone itself. Well, on behalf of the EU presidency, the Belgian finance minister said that they were poised to help and that they had learned from the Greek crisis.
We are ready to act, and of course we need to have a full picture, like Ollie said, and we have now a procedure to do that with a very clear analysis with the Irish government and the different institutions. I repeat it. And of course, if there is a request, if there is a demand coming from Ireland, the difference with the Greek case is that we are ready with some tools to give a reaction. And you remember that for Greece it was a so long process because we need to agree about a specific mechanism for Greece and then about the facility. But now we have the tools to do something. So first the analysis, if there is a request, we are ready to act.
Didier Reinders there. Well, Megan Greene is from the Economist Intelligence Unit and joins me now from central London. Megan, let's just talk about what we know, given the fact that this second meeting has taken place this afternoon. Interesting to point out that Didier Reinders, not in that clip we just showed there, went on to say that it will be difficult for the ECB to continue, if you like, propping up the Irish banks in the term that he used, liquidity. What can we read into that? Is he almost saying that Ireland need to either ask us if they want help or go away?
Well, so Ireland's banks have pretty much maxed out their funding from the ECB. And as a result, the ECB has been putting a lot of pressure on the Irish government to request access to a bailout. Just today, a team of European Commission, IMF, and ECB officials descended on Dublin for technical talks about potential bailout for the banking sector, as opposed to a lending facility for the government, which has been what everyone's been talking about up until now. So it is possible that in the next couple of weeks, we'll see what they come up with, but that the Troika, as they're called, may come up with some way to prop up the banking sector in Ireland to give the government some breathing space.
I mean, they've made it very clear, as we know over the last couple of days, that Ireland do not want to seek a full bailout package from the EU. But do you think they're being pushed into a corner, if you like, by the other Eurozone members? Because they need to have some kind of decision on this, and actually a bailout package in terms of the EU would help them sustain what the Eurozones are trying to do as a whole.
Yeah, the government in Ireland is definitely under pressure from the EU just because of the potential contagion effects of the Irish sovereign debt crisis. But I think most of the pressure is really coming from the ECB, which is not able to prop up the Irish banking sector much more.
So do you think it's likely then eventually that Ireland will have to go cap in hand?
Yes, I think it's very likely that Ireland will have to get a bailout for its banking sector. Now, whether the government will have to get a bailout in the middle of next year when it runs out of funding, it depends a lot on how successful this lending facility for the banking sector is. Currently, Irish banks are borrowing money at an interest rate of 1% with the ECB, which is extremely low. And it's hard for me to see how anyone can come up with a bailout package for the banks with an interest rate that's even close to 1%. I think it's likely that it will be much higher. And so I'm not sure how successful a bailout for the banking sector will be, in which case, come next June, when the government has to go to the markets, investors might not be calmed, and the Irish government might be forced to request access to this EU and IMF lending facility.
OK, Megan, we thank you very much for your time. Megan Greene then for the Economist Intelligence Unit. Quick look at the markets then, as we said, pretty